You might say Jill Koss is a child of Maryville College. Her father, Dr. Dan Kinsinger, was a voice professor, and her mother, Bertha, was a kindergarten teacher and pianist who frequently accompanied Dan and his students at their recitals. The family lived 1 block from campus.
My mom and dad were very connected to the students at Maryville College. I can remember students being in our home as a kid growing up, and so I grew up knowing who college students were because they were part of our family.
Jill attended Fort Craig Elementary School and then Maryville Junior and Senior High Schools.
When I graduated from high school, I thought I needed to leave Maryville and get away. So I actually went to Eureka College in Eureka, Illinois, because that's where both of my parents had graduated from. But after my father died when I was a freshman, after my sophomore year, I decided it was time to come back to Maryville. So I came back home and finished up at Maryville, and I'm glad that I did. I think that made a huge impact in terms of how the trajectory for the rest of my life. So I'm glad that I came back and spent those last 2 years at Maryville.
Jill majored in physical education and earned a K-12 teaching certificate. Her faculty advisor, Edith Largen, guided Jill's independent study on adventure playgrounds, which helped to shape her future career. After commencement, Jill volunteered with the Presbyterian Church to do mission work in Alaska, above the Arctic Circle in the northernmost community in the United States.
And so what I learned from that was, again, the importance of being connected and giving back, and the cultural context of learning Eskimo life has also been a pretty powerful lesson for me.
3 years later, Jill began a master's program in child development at Texas Women's University, but she was still uncertain about which direction her career would take.
I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do with that degree until probably one of my last semesters in graduate school. Somebody did a presentation on child life. And that was kind of bells and whistles, and that's what I was meant to do, would be child life. And so I went ahead and finished my master's. I went back to Tennessee and did my internship at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. And then I went and worked in East Tennessee Children's for about 6 months before I decided to come back to Texas and came back to Cook Children's, and I've been here ever since, and that was about 33 years ago.
Jill began as a child life specialist at Cook Children's Hospital in Fort Worth. Her job was to make sure kids could still be kids even when they were seriously ill or undergoing treatment in the hospital. Later, Jill was promoted to become the Director of Family Support Services at Cook. She now supervises a staff of 80 employees and a small army of volunteers. Her team includes artists, music therapists, TV producers, clowns, and dogs and their handlers. There are even summer camps just for kids who are hospitalized at the facility.
The child life specialists are really focusing on the developmental aspects of what hospitalization and medical trauma could potentially do to kids' development. Play is how kids understand their environment and understand their experiences. So through play, we help kids make sense of a hospitalization, a medical diagnosis, an injury, the treatment for that, and really try to minimize the stress they might feel in the environment. So they cope better, they master, they're resilient, and the hospital experience and/or the healthcare experience doesn't cause regression, and it allows for normal development. And I really truly think that when kids play and kids are relieved of the stress that sometimes that happens around their clinical treatment, the sooner they get up and play and actually get around to being a little bit more normal, the quicker they go home.
As part of her commitment to giving back to others, Jill has taken the message of child life therapy overseas to Hong Kong, Honduras, Romania, and Malaysia, helping set up programs and training others to do this important work. She has been active in the discipline's professional organization as well, serving on committees and chairing a certification commission. Jill was elected president of the Association of Child Life Professionals in 2019 and received the group's Distinguished Service Award in 2023.
So it's all been an opportunity to recognize that it's not a necessarily North American opportunity, it's not just Western medicine, that kids who need that kind of psychosocial and developmental understanding of their well-being, it's not just Western medicine, it's also kind of looking at how do you help kids wherever they are.
Jill's passion for serving others has taken her around the world and has made a difference in the lives of countless children and their families. She also gives back to Maryville College through the Dan and Bertha Kinsinger Endowed Scholarship, established in her parents' names and awarded annually to a rising junior or senior who exhibits excellence in vocal performance. In one way or another, all of this is connected to Jill's lifelong association with Maryville College.
I would say that the foundation I got at Maryville, it was the beauty of growing up there and being connected to the college all my life. You know, we were put here to connect and give back. that's just kind of how I've lived my life. That's how I was raised.